Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Casil. I wanted to show you how you can insert a drawing into a Google Slides because it takes an extra step. A Google document, you can create a drawing within the document, but in a slide, there's one more step. So for my example, I'm going to put my name, a description of the thing from my life I picked to document with a free body diagram. In this case, my son Arthur loves to hold his sippy cup with literally just his mouth. So, that that's the thing. Um, I'll see if I can find, I've got a great video clip somewhere of just the scale of mess he's capable of making with the sippy cup in his mouth because he gets really excited and he's, jumping all over the place. It's really cute. So in this picture, he's holding the sippy cup with his mouth, but he's also supporting it with his hand a little bit. So it's a good example because it's a little more complex. So I've put a description, I've put a photograph of the real life thing, and now I want to insert my free body diagram. I know, why would you bother doing that when the picture is just so cute, right? So anyway, you'd think that you could insert that from a Google slide. You can't. Maybe that functionality will come someday. Google's constantly updating what tools it integrates into all of its apps. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to create we're going to go to File, New, and down here you'll see Drawing. So there's a couple options. First, I would never insert your photograph in here. Remember, free body diagram is a point or a box or a circle. We don't bother drawing the thing because it's too complicated. So here, I'm going to pick the Arthur's sippy cup for the object. That is too small for my old lady eyes to see. That's too small for my old lady eyes to see. I'll take it. That's pretty good. Arthur's sippy cup. Okay. You can make whatever style decisions you want as you go through this. It's entirely up to you. This is going to be my free body diagram, so I'm going to give a line on here. And, my favorite color is green, so I'm going to put a green line around it right there. So this is my box representing Arthur's sippy cup. It has mass. I'm isolating it from all other masses with which it is interacting, and instead I'm focusing on just the forces it is experiencing. So when you draw a free body diagram, on a drawing like this, you can go up to arrow right here. So Arthur's sippy cup, the easiest force to start with right here, and that is, again, too small for my old lady eyes to see. That's a little better, but okay. 12 makes me laugh, so that's not going to be something I want to do. All right, I'll take 8. So the first and easiest example, and the first place you should ask yourself is this object on planet Earth? In which case, the force of gravity is acting on that object. So that's always the first force you should look for. It's acting down towards the center of the Earth in this example. Yes, gravity works even at Mrs. Cassell's house. So now I need to think about the other forces. The object is not falling. That means it's staying at rest. Arthur is counteracting the force of gravity so that when I add up all of the forces on his sippy cup, they add up to 0. Otherwise, that object would be accelerating, and it's not. It's staying in the same location. Its velocity is constant, equal to 0. There is therefore 0 acceleration, so there is 0 net force. So I know that whatever other forces are acting on this object also have to be equal and opposite to the force of gravity. So this is where I'd prefer you to attempt to be a little technical. So I'm going to draw my diagrams on, or add my arrows on here, and then I want you to think about what you're going to do to make yours scientifically accurate as possible. So I'm going to add another arrow. I picked 8 as my value before, so I'm going to do the same thing again. This is the upward force of Arthur's baby teeth on the sippy cup. I can spell correctly. So this is the force of his baby teeth acting upward. Now, I also mentioned that he is holding it with his hand a little bit. So I want you, as you design your free body diagram, the sum of your vectors should add up to equal and opposite forces. So you can actually count on the grid on a Google Drawing, which is kind of nice. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is a number that is not my favorite to, like divide into. Oh no, here, but let's give Arthur some props, and say, okay, it's 7. I just counted that. That's not measured or real or something with a unit on it. Let's say that his teeth are stronger than his hand in this example, so he's got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty good. I'm going to make sure that actually goes up to 4. Is the length of the vector arrow from his baby teeth holding up that the sippy cup. I'm going to go ahead and move this over here because I'm going to add, and you know what? I can even make these match in color a little bit. So I can do this. Oh, come on, pick up the line too. No, you don't want to do it? Okay. So I'll change the colors afterwards because I do want them to be the same color. And this apparently this text box thinks it needs to be sitting on top of my arrow. It's one of my least favorite things in the world when the computer tries to be smarter than me. Oh no, it's not that. It's that Google doesn't want me to change the two colors at the same time. Okay, no problem. Okay, I stand corrected. As you were, sir. Okay, so Arthur's also holding up the cup with his hand. So I need to think for a second about which way that force is going. His hand is holding it over here. Let's say his teeth are stronger, so the length of that arrow is going to be a little shorter than the length of the vector for the force provided by his baby teeth. So this is the force from his hand, his sticky little adorable chubby baby hand. So here's the thing about free body diagrams, right? There is a logic to drawing them where the force is occurring. Okay? That makes sense when we want to analyze the reality of the situation. However, a free body diagram is a tool. The purpose of it is to diagram the forces acting on an object so that we can add those vectors together and determine the net force graphically. In that case, this is a force that even though Arthur is holding the sippy cup off to the side over here, what direction is that force acting on the sippy cup? Up. So I'm going to move it up to the top. Boop, just like that. If I were to add these two on top of each other, they should add up to length 7, which I don't think fits on where I line things up on my grid, but I could double check that. I have two forces now that add up to 7 units on my drawing, which is equal and opposite to the force of gravity acting downward, which is 7 units long. If this was a real set of forces that we were measuring, they would be equal to newtons. We would be putting values on here that were newtons, but the same logic would apply. I'm just going to center those right there. Okay. So this is now a complete free body diagram for Arthur. Could we tease out more details like, okay, is it the force of friction between his teeth and the sippy cup? Yes, it is. That's technically what's happening anytime you're holding something. But we can be more general here because we're going to look at those quantities. If we were actually analyzing this, we would measure what that force is, regardless of the smaller sums of forces that we could look at. All right. You're the physicist. You get to define the scope and system that you're analyzing. So I'm going to name this though. So in terms of our technology skill here, this is the Arthur free body diagram. All right. I'm going to save it in my drive. Guys, my drive has 61 gigabytes of data in it, my school drive. So you better believe it that just dumping it in my drive do not work. So I'm going to go ahead and drop it in the right folder. Please don't laugh at me though. It's week 12 and here's your week 11 folder. My bad. So this now is a saved diagram. What I can do is I'm going to go back to my previous tab right here, and now I can insert, this should work. I should be able to insert an image from my drive. And let's go ahead and go look and see if it lets me do this. If not, then there's going to be a different workaround that we're going to pursue. I'm going to go ahead and open my faces over the folder. Sorry about that. Nope, this only shows a JPEG. Okay, so if I want to insert that drawing right there, I maybe will have to convert it actually. Upload from the thing by URL. I think I have to do it by URL is what I'm going to do. Okay, so instead I'm going to get a sharing link right here, right? So I'm going to go back to anybody in the Northwestern Public Schools can view this. You see how many tedious steps there are here? I'm going to put this in here and let's see if this works. We can't find the image of that URL. Well, that doesn't work. Welcome to my life, you guys. So, let's go see. How do I adjust? No, that's something else. I want to look for, um, uh, Google Drawing in Google Slides. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. On the left side is an option. By URL, paste your Google Drawing document link. Maybe I just need to paste the link directly rather than a sharing link. So let's go ahead and try that. The thing I don't know about it is, will it be visible to anybody else? Oops, 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 oops. So I'm going to insert image by URL. Yeah, see, that doesn't work. So it's a great example of vetting your sources on the interwebs because that first answer lies to me. Sorry, Alice Keeler, no offense, but that doesn't work. Add a Google Drawing to Google Slides teacher tech. Oh, those teaches. We be messing it up. Okay. I'm gonna insert. See what's here. No, thank you, Miss Keeler. Okay. I need to publish this to the web. All right. That's how I embed everything that I put in our documents. Whenever you see Google Slides in our lesson, I'm publishing them to the web. That doesn't mean that they're out there for the public to find. People can't find your information. It just means that they change the coding so that it works for a web page display. So I'm going to go ahead and do medium because I know that I can change that later. So again, here's what I did. I went up to the file menu. I went down to publish to the web, and then I chose embed. Publish. Okay. Now I've been given an image source code. So this is in fact what the HTML looks like when you embed an image that you've saved, uploaded from Google, doesn't matter where it came from, but this is how you code things in HTML. You can see it's telling me where the image is located and then how big it is down here. So, you can change those parameters actually and fuss around with things. So, okay. Now I can paste this code in here. Oops, here, let's make sure it had better work. It seriously still does not work. Oh, because I did the embed code. I want the link, sorry. Instead of embed code, choose the link. Sometimes I feel bad when things are this, oh, there it is. Look at that. That's so satisfying to get that result. I love it, you guys. Okay, I'm going to crop this image because that is too big. And then I'm going to move it and size it to be how I like. Okay. So, sometimes I feel bad when my videos are this janky and you get to see that it's just, all over the place, but I also really like it because it shows you that this is real. These technology skills, they don't come innately to anybody, and somebody like me who appears to have a lot of them, I learn a lot of them like that, and it takes more than one try, and you have to think about why things aren't working to figure it out. I made lots of mistakes in this process, but all in all, other than explaining my free body diagram, it took me about 2 minutes to get this image inserted in here with all those errors. I've done that work for you, so now you can follow my directions. So, to sum up and recap, if you want to insert a diagram that you need to draw into a Google slide, you're going to need to create, under your file menu, a new drawing. Once you've created your drawing within that space, it will look like this. You're going to go to the file menu, choose publish to the web. Under there, you're going to select link and don't worry about the size because you can edit it within your slide. And you're going to click publish. There's a button that will appear here, and then you can copy and paste this link back in your Google slide. you want to insert that picture that you've copied the link to. So you're going to insert under your insert menu, image by URL. And there you'll be able to paste that and you should see your Google drawing appear. All right. Good luck, everybody.